G'day, Tosca here from Drones for Hire. We're going to have a look at setting up spray task missions and the four actually options that you have when doing that. So we're going to start off by going here to begin in the bottom right hand corner. It'll either take you into the spray mode or your task selection page. If you're in your spray mode, to get to the task selection page, you're just going to click where that M is. That's going to take you back to this task selection mode page. So we're just going to talk about these agricultural ones on the left hand side. They're our spray and spread options. So the first one down the bottom there is manual. If we click on that and then we click on this left hand side to bring out the spray parameters tab, you'll see here up the top we've got M and M+. That's manual and manual plus. Now within manual you don't have any rate control options. So we've just got a flow rate, we've got a droplet size, and we've got a max speed. I'll come back to the flow rate and how you can use that in a second. But the max flight speed, basically it is what it sounds like. That means the aircraft will go no faster than that speed. If you full stick forward, you are not going to go faster than 18 kilometers an hour in this case. If you half stick, you'll go about half what your max flight speed is. It allows you really good control and just gives you a little bit more aid in getting that manually controlled the right rate that you want on that spray task. Personally, I don't use this option very much because Manual Plus gives you rate controlled, as we'll go into a second. But there are circumstances where it's quite useful. If I got a little bit left in the tank of, say, a blackberry spray or some other species target herbicide, I might fly over to one plant that's away from my working area, but I want to go and spray. I'll tilt the camera down so I'm lined up on top of it, or use just straight visual orientation. I'll then run a timer and work out, okay, what liters per minute do I need? I know I worked out my area that my aircraft's going to spray on the ground, so it might be, say, a 6 meter radius circle at maybe 3 meters high. I will then work out on my flow rate how long I need to get to stay on that plant to get the rate that I want. So sometimes we'll set it at, say 6 liters per minute, and we might put out 15 to 20 seconds on top of that plant and then move on to the next one. Okay, the next one across here is Manual Plus. So if we click on that, you'll see here we've got a bit more control on our rate. So we can actually put in our liters per hectare. So what that means is that the aircraft's going to adjust the flow rate to match our speed and give us the right liters per hectare no matter what we do with the aircraft speed and control. In order to get that, we have to put a few little extra things in, like our route spacing, which is our distance between each run, our swim lanes, as we like to call them. And we've also got here height above crop. So that allows us to utilize the terrain tracking on the aircraft and maintain a set height, whereas you'll note in manual, there's no way for us to control that. That's complete pilot input. So where this is great is same sort of thing as with manual. If you've got a little bit less but left in a tank, or you've got a small area to do, usually one battery or one tank, so I would say a maximum of 1 hectare little area. You fly out to that manually, you'll set all your parameters, you click start, the aircraft will descend, and then you will have your course locked or not, depending on what you want. The aircraft can then cover that small patch of area with pretty well all manual input for the flying side of thing, but the aircraft will control the rate controlled. We'll go through this later. You can have a look at some of the other videos on how that practically works, but at this point you'll just know that these settings are here, and this is how you find them. So if we click the top left hand corner again, it's going to take us back into our options. The next one we're going to go to is our route options. So we click on the big one at the top. It's just a simple matter of creating your task area and then sending the aircraft off to complete that. We'll do another video where we go through all the options in that route mode, but for now, just to show you where that is. And then our next option here is fruit tree mode. So if we pull out that task menu on the left, fruit tree mode is where you're going to go to if you've done a mapped area. So if we've created a map, we've got one here. So we've selected plants in this example. There's 100 plants that we've selected, and we're doing a fruit tree auto rotate over the top of the plant. So it's just going to fly on top of that plant, rotate on top of those yellow dots, spray that one, and then move to the next one. Okay, the other ones on the right hand side, we won't go through too much now, but the route mapping is how you would do a map for just a normal route mission. So you send the aircraft up and it will take all those photos. And then the bottom one is to do a fruit tree map. We don't really recommend that you use the T50 most of the time to do this kind of thing. It's a great feature, it's really exciting and has a lot of potential for future development. But for most agricultural circumstances in Australia, it's not very practical. You're sort of limited on time, you're limited on the resolution that it gives you. So plant selection is pretty low. The resolution's just not quite there. It's also asking a lot of the remote controller. The remote control is designed for flying the aircraft and handling all those settings and in-flight management. It's not, while it can do it, it's not designed to do that processing of those orthomosaics and then plant select. You know, we have our computers which are very specific and quite advanced, and we have to have a lot of RAM and that sort of thing in them to do that kind of thing. It's asking a lot for this, you know, fairly small remote control to do it at the same level. So for that reason, it's useful and in some circumstances means that you don't need to pull another drone out and you don't need to, you know, have a laptop and process, but for most circumstances, we found it's not the best way to go. Okay, that's a quick run through on your task options. Have a look at some of our other videos on how you go through and set up a route mission, a manual plus, and a fruit tree, and how you actually execute them. Thanks for watching.